Welcome to Tuesday, May the 19th, and we are working on lesson number 13, Life Science and Literary Experience. Twofer. We are going to do Mystery Baby. I am going to think of an animal, and I'm going to give you 3 hints. Let's put this up a little closer. So I have a variety of hints that I can pick. And then you can try to figure out what I'm thinking about. So my animal, or baby animal, mystery baby animal, has web feet for one. It also has, besides web feet, it also has teeth. Not only does it have teeth, it also happens to have, I'm going to write it in, sharp teeth. Actually, not only sharp teeth, but very big sharp teeth. So it has webbed feet, it has sharp teeth, and it also happens to have a long, big tail. So let's read this together. This mystery baby that I'm thinking about in my head, I am thinking of a baby animal. Of course, it grows into a big animal eventually. I am thinking of a baby animal. It has webbed feet and sharp teeth. It also has a tail. What is my mystery baby animal? So this is a game and a lesson that you can work with your parents, a friend, a brother or sister. Since we're in quarantine, not really a friend unless they live with you. It helps you with your life science skills as well as a literary experience, fiction, because next we're going to add a story to it, and that's the fiction. Have you guessed? All right, let me give you a clue. It's greenish color. It likes to, another hint, live in swamps, places like swamplands in Florida, in Louisiana. Alrighty, I will give it away. My baby animal is an alligator. Alligator. So, mystery baby is an alligator, baby alligator. I am thinking of a baby animal. It has webbed feet. It has and it has sharp teeth. It also has a tail. What is my baby animal? It is an alligator. So now we are going to have the story Alligator Baby read. You could do any story, but I did this one so that the book we're going to listen to makes
Alligator Baby
sense.
by
Here we
Robert
go.
Munch, illustrated by Michael Marchenko. One night, Kristen's mother woke up and yelled,
"A baby! A baby! I'm having a baby!"
Kristen's father jumped up, zoomed around the room, got dressed, and grabbed Kristen's mother by the hand. They ran downstairs to the car and drove off really fast. Vroom. Unfortunately, they got lost. They didn't go to the hospital. They went to the zoo. But it was okay. Kristen's mother had a lovely baby. Then they drove home and knocked on their front door. Kristen opened the door, and there was her mother, holding something all wrapped up.
"Kristen,
She said,
would you like to see your new baby brother?" "Oh, yes."
said Kristen. So, Kristen lifted up the bottom of the blanket. She saw a long green tail and said,
That's not a people tail.
Kristen lifted up the middle of the blanket, saw a green claw, and said,
That's not a people claw.
Kristen lifted up the top of the blanket, saw a long green face with lots of teeth, and said,
That's not a people face. That is not my baby brother. Now, Kristen,
said her mother.
don't be jealous.
Just then, the baby reached up and bit Kristen's mother on the nose. She yelled,
Ah!
Then the baby reached up and bit her father on the nose. He yelled, Ah!
That's not a people baby.
said Kristen,
That's an alligator baby. Goodness,
said her mother.
we've got the wrong baby.
So, Kristen put the alligator baby into the fish tank, and her mother and father drove back to the zoo. They came back in an hour and knocked on the door. Kristen opened the door, and her mother said,
Would you like to see your new baby brother? Oh, yes.
said Kristen. Kristen lifted up the bottom of the blanket, saw a fishy tail, and said,
That's not a people tail.
Kristen lifted up the middle of the blanket, saw a flipper, and said,
That's not a people flipper.
Kristen lifted up the top of the blanket, saw a face with whiskers, and said,
That's not a people face. That is not my baby brother. Now, Kristen,
said her mother.
don't be jealous.
Just then, the baby reached up with its flipper and flapped her father's face. Whap, 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 whap. He yelled, Ah! It's a seal baby! We've got the wrong baby! So, Kristen put the seal baby in the bathtub, and her mother and father drove back to the zoo. They came back in an hour and knocked on the door. They said, Kristen, would you like to see your new baby brother?
Oh, yes.
said Kristen. She lifted up the bottom of the blanket, saw a very hairy leg, and said,
That's not a people leg.
She lifted up the middle of the blanket, saw a very hairy arm, and said,
That's not a people arm.
She lifted up the top of the blanket, saw a very hairy face, and said,
That's not a people face. That is not my baby brother. Now, Kristen,
said her mother.
don't be jealous.
Then the baby reached up with its feet and grabbed her mother's ear and her father's ear, and they both yelled, Ah! It's a gorilla baby! We've got the wrong baby!
Let me do it.
said Kristen. So, her mother and father put the gorilla baby on the chandelier in the living room, and Kristen went off to the zoo on her bicycle. First, Kristen looked in the snake cage. No people babies. Then Kristen looked in the wombat cage. No people babies. Then Kristen looked in the elephant cage. No people babies. Then she stopped and listened. From far away she heard, Wah, 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 wah,
That's more like it.
said Kristen. She followed the sound. It was coming from the gorilla cage. Kristen looked at the mommy gorilla and said,
Give me my baby brother.
The gorilla jumped away and wouldn't give the baby back at all. Then the people baby reached up and bit the gorilla on the nose, and the gorilla yelled, "Oh!" and handed the baby to Kristen. Kristen jumped on her bicycle and pedaled home. Kristen knocked on the door. When her parents opened it, she said,
Would you like to see your new baby?
Kristen's mother lifted up the bottom of the blanket and said,
Look, people legs.
She lifted up the middle of the blanket and said,
Look, people hands.
She lifted up the top of the blanket and said,
Look, a people face.
Kristen's mother picked up the baby and gave it a big hug. Her father took the baby and gave it a big hug. And her mother said,
Kristen, you got the baby back. Good for you.
But what are we going to do with all these other babies? Yelled Kristen's father. There's a seal baby in the bathtub, and an alligator baby in the fish tank, and a gorilla baby hanging from the chandelier. We should take them back to the zoo. But Kristen looked out the window and said,
I don't think we'll have to do anything at all.
and everything was okay until Kristen's mother had twins. We hope you enjoyed Dramatic Storytime Theater's presentation of Alligator Baby. Please subscribe, like, comment, and request new stories. Don't forget to click the bell icon to sign up for notifications when our next story is uploaded.
Thank you for listening to Mrs. Briseno's class, and next time come back again, click subscribe and click notifications so that you can be notified the next time I have another lesson up on YouTube. And if you are on Instagram, so just click so you can be a follower to Mrs. Briseno _teacher Instagram TV. Thank you.